learnt at the feet of Gamaliel. And in saying this, he must have been saying that he was not called or he was not sent by virtue of learning the law, knowing the law completely. He was not of men. And again, is by saying not by men, it indicates that it was not through man, that is, not by ritualistic means of laying on hands by a bishop. In fact, he was ordained. He was laid hands by Ananias. Chapter 9, 17 shows it very clearly. And some of the prophets and the evangelists laid hands on him. We can see it in Acts chapter 13, verses 1 to 3. And in other words, he was ordained. Here he says, sent not from men, nor by man, but by Jesus Christ and God the Father. What does it mean? What is he trying to convey? Is he trying to say that he was sent only by Jesus Christ and he was superior? In other words, what I understood, or what we can understand from this passage is our calling, or our sending, or our appointing is not by virtue of what we have learned, not by virtue of what how we are commissioned, how we are um, ordained, how we are sent to the ministry, but it is purely by the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. That is the main thing. So here we can see the humbleness of Paul. Humbleness of Paul. Though he is an ordained person, though he has learned a lot in the law, he is superior in understanding than many in his own age. He is considering them as nothing. And in other words, he says, not by those good qualities, but I am called only by the grace of Lord Jesus Christ. What I would like to share you this evening is, you are all, you all, we all are called, are sent by Jesus Christ and God the Father. Only by His grace we are called. One more verse I would like to focus. That is in 13th verse of the same verse, the same chapter, verse 13. For you have heard of my previous way of life in Judaism, how intensely I persecuted the church of God and tried to destroy it. I was advancing in Judaism beyond many Jews of my own age and was extremely jealous for the traditions of my fathers. Here we are not focusing what Paul is teaching the Galatians, but how Paul is presenting himself. That's what our focus this evening is. Paul is presenting himself as nothing. Though he is a learned man, he is an ordained man, he is presenting as an individual who has got nothing and sent only by the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. And he says, I was advancing in Judaism beyond my Jews. Yes, he was advancing. And many Jews were there. They were so efforts towards the law, their commitment towards the law. But they were none of them were advancing like Paul to kill the people and to converse doing like that. But he was advancing in Judaism beyond many Jews of his own age, and as extremely jealous for the traditions of my fathers, for their traditions. And even after his conversion on the way to Damascus, he was extremely jealous. Even after conversion on the way to Damascus, he was extremely jealous. Yes, not in that sense, not in that sense, exactly in the opposite sense. But now that zeal he is exactly doing in opposite way, in opposite way he is presenting, that the zeal he is showing towards the advancing of the gospel.